And one of the things that we are doing to really get ahead of it is we really need to be proactive instead of reactive, right? And that goes with anything in education. If we're not being proactive, then we're just reacting to what's happening in the moment. It feels like you're never really truly getting ahead.
You're listening to the SmartSocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. This is our District Talk segment where we interview district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday shine online. Now, let's get back to the interview.
I'm Anna Marie Candelario. I am the Director of Individualized Education Services for District 65, that is in Evanston, Illinois. We are a pre-K to 8 district serving over 6,700 students within 18 schools.
I'm Laura Cortez. I am the Associate Superintendent of Educational Services in Greenfield, California. We serve about 3,600 students from pre-kindergarten to 8th grade. Love working with this community, love working with this population of students, and I absolutely love serving them in the capacity of Associate Sup, but also with the lens of digital equity for our students, because they absolutely deserve it. And we have the moral responsibility to enhance their learning through digital education, right? Through bringing in technology that they probably wouldn't be able to put their hands on if it wasn't for our educational system providing that opportunity for them.
Well, hello, I'm Kimberly Huesing, and I serve as the Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services for the Fallbrook Union Elementary School District. And we are located in beautiful Fallbrook, which is in the northernmost part of San Diego County. We have 9 schools. One is a virtual school, and we have about 5,000 students. And we serve students from high socioeconomic to socioeconomically challenged to migrant students to military connected students. So we have a wide swath of students, and we teach our kids to be good leaders and good citizens. And we are super grateful for the success that we've had.
How has the prevalence of technology in the classroom impacted student learning and engagement?
We really follow the 4 C's here in Illinois: create, collaborate, communicate, and think critically. And really, these provide opportunities for students to really modify and redefine their work. We utilize instructional technology. We have, close to 100 applications that we use within our district to engage students in their learning.
When I first read this question, I thought, wow, we really are serving Gen Zers. We really are serving Generation Alpha that is very digitally inclined. I mean, some of our students were born the same year of the iPad. They don't know life without the iPad, right? So we incorporated into our classrooms, not to replace instruction, but to enhance instruction. What has worked for us is really utilizing technology to really gauge their learning, utilizing things like Quizlet, Kahoot, gamifying their instruction to see, are they really gaining the essential standard? Are they understanding, mastering those essential standards? Or do we need to go back and reteach something? We also try to bring in things that are unique, like really looking at virtual reality and what that can play within education. So we are creating stations within each of our schools where our students will have access to, an Oculus virtual reality and learn that way. And why are we doing that? Because it really, really speaks to them. We are also partnering with Lou Interactive. During PE or during any break, our kids can be solving math equations, throwing a ball on a wall, right, to get the right answer, racking up points. And they're learning the entire time, but they're doing it with a digital platform. And again, it's enhancing the learning, but not replacing the instruction that the teacher can provide.
Okay, so this is a good one because I was just doing a board visit at one of our schools just 2 days ago. And I had to stop the students and just highlight for our new board members. We have 3 new board members, and say, what you're seeing right here is seamless integration of technology and instruction. And this doesn't happen by chance, and it doesn't happen everywhere. but see how neatly and seamlessly the students were in rows facing each other. So 2 rows on this side, 2 rows on that side. And the teacher was walking up and down the center. And then the large screen TV that we use as a monitor was in front of them. And the teacher was working from her iPad, and she had a picture of our benchmark as our adoption for ELA. And so she had a picture of the page of the story that they were reading, and she was annotating it with her Apple Pencil while the students were doing the same in their book. And they were talking about what they were going to write, and they were watching what she was writing. And the students were talking with each other and referencing what the teacher was providing. And it was so smooth, you might not have even recognized that that was the appropriate integration of technology unless you had an eye for it. And so I stopped the students. I said, how easy is it for you to follow along? And did you write what your teacher wrote in 5th grade? Did you write your own ideas? And they were able to say, like, yeah, it's a reference point, but that's where we start. And then we're expected to have a difference or an addition to. So that's just an example of it's an integrated, intentional use of technology that really facilitates the conversation. It's not the beginning or the end of what students do. It just helps them go through. And then how I would connect that to social media is at this point in our district, we're a K-8 district or TK really 8 district, is we're able to share that then with families so families can see it. And then it helps parents stay involved if they're watching what their kids are doing on Instagram, or they're doing it at one school, are they doing it at my school? And teachers can also connect. So that's one way I would say, even though we're younger students, that we're using the power of social media to connect teachers and connect parents to the curriculum.
What advice do you have for other school districts to deal with social media issues that might originate on social media apps and create a problem on campus?
So something that we utilize to really have an overview of at home and in school as we utilize the Securely platform. We have access to it at the district and school level. Also, parents have access to it as well to monitor their children at home. What is great about Securely platform is that we get alerts on a daily basis, anything ranging from really low risk to high risk. At that time, either we have on-demand, follow-up from either our administrators or our mental health team, but also we do follow up with families the next day, depending on what type of alerts that we receive. So it's really imperative that you have some sort of platform like that you could monitor and be able to follow up proactively and reactively.
Social media can be a struggle for us and for any school district, really, because our kids are so savvy in using the social media and creating little videos and, maybe poking fun here and there at folks. And it really has found its way onto our campus. And one of the things that we are doing to really get ahead of it is we really need to be proactive instead of reactive, right? And that goes with anything in education. If we're not being proactive, then we're just reacting to what's happening in the moment. It feels like you're never really truly getting ahead, that you're always just in this reactive mode, right? Great, now a fight broke out, now they're filming the fight. But how do we really get ahead of this? What we've done here is all of our counselors, all of our teachers, all of our social workers, there is a space within their day where they're really addressing digital citizenship, right? And cyberbullying and what this does and how this can create huge problems. So I'm finding that we're really utilizing all of our human resources, right? All of our educators and taking part of their time with students to address this so that we can be proactive. So all of our counselors, they create lessons that they hand off to the teachers, and then the teachers are the ones that are talking to them about what we do on social media, the way that we address people, the way that we characterize ourselves on social media. It really does have a consequence, right? In addition to, we as the educators try to model the correct use of social media. So all of our schools, all of our administrators, counselors, teachers, we have a very big presence on social media, and it's a positive presence. So we really try to tell our story before anyone else can tell it for us, right? Because we don't know what image they're going to try to give us. So what we do is we just record our students learning and cooperating with one another and doing this phenomenal things with each other and project-based learning and research projects, we film it and we upload it to social media. And our parents can see it, our community can see it, our students are just so proud to see themselves on all of our social media platforms, and they just get really, really excited. So we're hoping by modeling for them how to be productive users of social media, that they will be able to do the same. And then we also empower our students, right? So we allow them to create videos, we allow them to interview each other and do some really neat things, and then we'll upload it for them. So if they go to the website, they can see their picture, they can see, whatever it is that they've created and worked on. We try to really give them the tools to be able to be, again, productive users of social media.
Okay, so I would say the approach to handling social media, the consequences for negative problems starts with the tier one social emotional learning for all of our students, and having the pitfalls kids can accidentally step into, as well as the positives of how you can positively be seen on social media. That happens in tier one. So that should happen for all students. And then there are the times when life stops on Monday morning because something that happened over the weekend. And so how we handle that is a rounded approach. Whoever hears about it reports it right away to the administration and the counselors. And then it depends on what kind of an event it is. If it's self-harm, we take it in one direction. If it's negative, something about another student, we take it in another direction. If it's something dangerous, like weapon or something, then it has another track. So all of that has to be pre-planned so that these aren't shocking. Like, oh my goodness, what do we do? Never seen this before. We problem solve that out and plan it ahead of time so we have a response. That's on a good day. But you're always going to have those times when it's something you haven't heard of before. Younger and younger, we had in an elementary school, students accidentally taking screenshots of their friends while they're video chatting and then sharing it accidentally. So you would fall back into that tier one. What's the good choices? And then you work individually with that child and bringing in the parents and having the appropriate response and the opportunity to learn because they're so young. And if they can learn these things now about how detrimental that could be for their future, it helps. But we find we're doing a lot of education with the parents as well, because parents have no idea that their kids are able to into that, and then the negative consequences it can have. So in the snapshot, I would say you have to pre-plan it, you have to learn as we're doing it, and then have really strong follow-up.
Can you provide some examples of how your students have used social media in a positive or productive way that have benefited themselves or their community?
So some of our teachers, especially the ones that are really inclined to using technology and social media, they'll give them project-based learning assignments where they can work together. We incorporate all of the standards into some type of project-based learning where they're filming each other, they're creating brochures, they're creating presentations, they're creating slides. So many different ways of expressing themselves. They're showing us the mastery of the standards, but they're doing it through a digital platform. And then we take that and we always try to showcase all of the wonderful things that our students are doing.
In the age of one-to-one, how are you preparing students for positive technology use in the classroom?
So we do have specific digital citizenship curriculum within our district. So once we became a one-on-one district, we ensured that we followed that. We utilize Common Sense Media for just the creation of our curriculum. We also partner with outside organizations to come in and provide assemblies to our students to ensure they know the law around use of social media. This might answer another question, but I could tell you that I'm usually the reactive person when things happen or if social media is not used appropriately. And, as adults in the school building, we can tell students this is not the right way, or they can learn from a lesson. But when you have somebody from an outside organization come in and tell you, like, when you do things with social media in this way, like, these are the consequences. And then being in that assembly with students and they're like, wow, what? And they just learn it in a different way. So partnering with outside organizations has been very powerful within our district.
In our middle school, we do have a huge collaboration with Apple and Lego Education. So Apple is our funder, and they make sure that we have everything that we need as far as curriculum and resources and training and tools to implement Lego education in the classroom, and we do this through First Inspires. So they come in, they train our teachers, and then we have teams. We've built in a class during the day. It's an elective at the middle school where our kids get to code and do all of the different challenges and really get ready to compete with each other and with other teams across California.
Thanks for listening to our smartsocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. This was our District Talk segment where we interview school district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday launch into their future by shining online. This episode was brought to you by our smartsocial.com VIP program. It's called the Very Informed Parent Program, which helps you engage your students with teen-led video lessons. Stay one step ahead with our premium parent newsletter and discover hidden features on trending apps on teens' phones and our 54 plus live parent and student-friendly events every single year. You can click on the link below to chat with one of our team members if you want a free pass to our VIP program to support your community with our smartsocial.com resources. And if you're a district leader who has a success story, we would love to feature you on a future episode. You can click the links below to reach out. Thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a great day.